last night, Novo Nordisk announced results. They've substantially cut back their forecasts, and as a result, the stock has sold off like 20 or 30%, I think, overnight.
Right. On top of
Yeah.
a sell off that for a while. So here's my pop quiz question for you, and this again has nothing to do with like these fundamentals. This has to do with just adding an extra bit of reasoning to whether to buy now or not. When you look at this chart, Badger, can you see like a painter would a pattern or a couple patterns?
Like, I don't know what all these squiggly lines mean, but clearly, like the valuation has gone down and the volume of stuff traded has gone up. I guess that's my amateur view of
So
what
let
I'm
me
looking at.
actually back up. Each one of the lines, if we're looking at the top picture, it represents a time, 1 month. So this is actually 7 years now of this of Novo's price history. Do you see a pattern in what the in terms of directions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like on a massive downward trajectory.
Okay, so let me add a little granularity to that. I see three patterns worth paying attention to. There's the pretty much uh, pattern that goes looks kind of like it's straight up from 2018 until about 2024, and then there's the obvious reversal of that pattern from about 24 till now. So it kind of looks like a hill, right, with a peak. But I also did notice that there's about a year in which the stock traded sideways from, I don't know, it looks like July 21 to about July 22, like a flat plateau, right? But that ends up being sort of immaterial. Why I'm using this now to answer Barry's question is, should you buy now? And my answer to that is no. And it's because in this kind of long term view, we could see that these patterns tend to last a long time when zoomed out. So from 18 to 24, it's kind of like if it's an up pattern. So if you say, do you buy now? I say yes, because it's you're working with the pattern. You're swimming with the momentum. Now there's a clear reversal and it's not going uphill, right? It's going downhill. So the only way I would recommend Barry to buy stock now is if he was, I would call a domain expert, or if he's done his really due diligence and he could confidently explain why this market reaction is, so to speak, why it's an overreaction. He could point to like with confidence. I can't do that. I have no fundamental understanding beyond the headlines, right? So I cannot tell you that the legal uncertainty, blah blah blah, is an overreaction because I know X, Y, and Z. All I could tell you is the market is going to continue now in this direction until there is that reversal, and when that reversal happens, the price will then show it because it's going to go up a little bit. And that would be when you would take a much more de-risked, or call it, you would make an easier trade after it sort of has a little bit of a pop and that momentum starts going the other direction. Otherwise, the probabilities are in favor of this dropping further. So it would be more of the catching a falling knife thing.
Yeah. No, totally agree. But and so maybe if we like, so I guess the it went over the peak in, I suppose, about a year ago, like looking at the axes. So kind of July, so say Q3 last year. It's been in this kind of, the market cap has been descending since then, and so but that's like looking in the rear view mirror. But you're saying, like, not ignoring any other actual due diligence and understanding, like that's a signal that you should just like keep out of this until the curve turns.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one more, this is where that flat bit comes in. One more little
Yeah.
piece of hidden evidence here, or not evidence, hidden, I don't know, it's a crime scene, right? We're trying to make sense of it. Do you see that for now, the price ended sort of exactly at the level of that horizontal flat plateau from 3 years back. And if you look on the right side of this chart, there's that vertical set of bars, and those mean that the longer those bars are, that's where most of that volume happens. So it's almost like shelves. It's the more volume where price happens, the stronger the shelf is. So
Oh, the horizontal
I'm
bars,
sorry,
the
the
blue and
horizontal
yellow.
ones, the ones
Yeah,
in yellow and
got it.
blue, right? And
Got it.
so
Right.
to me, this means one of two things. The price logically stopped at that shelf, which also happens to coincide with that plateau. That's why the shelf is there, right?
Yep.
And now, were the price to actually break through and go further down, then there's still a lot more it could go down in terms of momentum. So I would, as it keeps falling down, I would not. I would continue to stay away. But if we see the price stabilizing around this point, that's more evidence that it's kind of that's as low as it's going to go. And of course, we don't know, but then it would be more of a okay, it's not going to drop further than if you study the company, you have more evidence that the next thing that's going to happen is that back to the upside. So
All right. Like, yeah. Look, I won't argue with any of that. I get it. I don't. I don't put any stock in this stuff, really, because because I've the only thing I'll look at is actual, like the stuff we said. If Barry hasn't done these things, like those are the things you must do, and the price tells you. In my sort of badgers don't bury their head in the sand, like they dig holes and climb into their burrows. In like my badgers set, they have sets, not burrows. In my set, like we don't allow these like guys through the door when they're selling these kind of charts. You want to like come into the badger set and talk stocks. Come armed with like due diligence on exactly why, what's happened, why has the company reduced their forecasts, what's competition doing, and then you can have a
exactly.
sensible cup of tea
Right,
with the badger.
exactly. But that's my sort of challenge to Barry, if
Yeah,
or and our group, right?
yeah,
Unless you've done your work and you could explain to Monkey why
got
the
it.
market is
Yeah,
overreacting, then the chart tells you to stay away.
yeah. That's okay. Good, good. Right. I think we're definitely saying the same thing. Yeah, yeah. So bad Barry, don't like you've done it now. You've done it, so don't make things worse by suddenly panic selling it. You've made that decision. I guess you just like ride it out and maybe learn from it, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
Spot on.